Joe Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today I am looking at the third figure in the second wave of, I guess, new retro cardback G.I. Joes. I don't know how to define it. But anyway, hopefully this Cobra Commander is more satisfying than the Cobra Trooper and even Sergeant Stalker, which I will be keeping an eye out for. Check out my reviews of those two to find out why they were disappointing to me. But this Cobra Commander, long time coming in the line, because all we have had to this point are different versions of that original Cobra Commander figure, which, if you don't include the His Tank Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander, which I don't because I sold mine to recoup some of my investment in the His Tank, we have needed a standard Cobra Commander for a long time in this line, and now that they've finally hit on it, I hope we can look towards some other versions. Obviously we want a Battle Armor Cobra Commander. I would love to see, I think it's version 4 Cobra Commander with that red faceplate. There's so much that can be done now that we've got our standard issue Cobra Commander figure. So the packaging, the card back, they have very satisfyingly figured out the thickness and the durability of these card backs. I'm very happy about that. Art, I think, looks really good. They did a nice job with that. There's some weird textures going on, but whatever, it looks good. Like the Cobra, the enemy, going across the top and the G.I. Joe logo. And then on the back, we've got the file card that has been broken down so it can fit into 5 languages. Whatever, it's fine. Doesn't matter. And then, as you can see, we actually have a cross-sell on these, which I didn't emphasize enough when I reviewed these two. But it's really nice to have a cross-sell. We don't get that from a lot of toy lines anymore. So it's nice to see who else is out there and available. And hopefully, I will be able to find another Stalker in the store that I can examine with my own 2 eyes and get better camo print on. Because I have found out, in follow-up to the Stalker review, one of my issues was his camo fades. My figure, the camo fades under the thigh joints, the thigh cuts, and it looks pretty bad, really bad. But in talking to people online, apparently I did just get a bad one, and they are not all like that, is what I am hearing. So that's good news. I should be able to get a good Stalker, and that'll make me a lot happier with the figure overall. Let's see what we've got here. I'm very curious to see how the back, because obviously I did not open my His Tank Cobra Commander because I knew I wanted to sell it mint on card, because I had a pretty good idea of how much I would get for it. And I had faith that we would see that tooling used again, as we have. So I never opened that one or reviewed it or anything. Matter of fact, I think I sold it the day after I got my Hiss, because my assumption was that prices would only go lower and lower and lower on that figure as time went on. And I haven't checked because I haven't cared that much. But if you have any first-hand knowledge of what that Cobra Commander is selling for now, drop it in the comments. I'm sure people would be interested to see that. Oh, this is so exciting. So one of the things I have read online about this figure, I generally try to avoid reviews of things I'm going to review, but I am an enthusiastic fan of HisTank.com. It's a great place for information and conversation. As you know, if you listen to Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast, we often discuss things that we read or see on His Tank. And one of the things that I saw is that some folks are getting this Cobra Commander with either a crooked helmet or a crooked stripe on the helmet. And I don't think mine has either of those issues. Well, yeah, it's very, very slightly. If you look, I don't know if you'll really be able to tell because of the way the chrome is done. If you look, the point right here isn't quite lined up with the angle of his mask. But my gosh, I can't. Like, just looking at it, I can't really see that very much. And the stripe looks good to me. It might be... no, it looks fine. Whatever. Actually, what's bothering me, aside from that little nick on the back of his helmet right there, the only thing that's bothering me is the paint issue right here. I don't love that. But I don't want to get nitpicky too soon on this guy, because I do want to look at it as a, not as a zoomed in for a review, but as a what is he going to look like on the shelf. I do wish the Cobra... So this is another naked eye thing. In the video, the Cobra emblem actually looks like it stands out fairly well, but just to my eye, it's a little too dark. I wish that was a brighter red, but it looks great in the video. Placement of the buttons, I like the light blue undershirt that he's got going on there. I think it looks really good. In general, I prefer this design to the Mickey Mouse one. Although, I like the sleeves on the Mickey Mouse one. I mean, the long gloves. Hello, talking. The long gloves are iconic and great. Ooh, this is going to bother me. Get ready, I'm about to pick some nits. It appears, if you line the stripe on the side of his trousers up properly, that he is slightly, oh gosh, what is that, pigeon-toed when they turn inwards? But it seems like all of the classified figures are designed that way. It's just on most of them you can correct it by turning that cut at the top of the boot. But in this case, for him to be lined up correctly, for that stripe to be lined up correctly, you kind of have to go with his toes being turned slightly inward. I don't love that. What else? I really like the color of blue. It does not match any other Cobra classified troops, but Cobra Commander kind of never did. He always had his own shade of blue, so I'm okay with that. I love the textures going on in him, on the figure. The web gear has its own texture here. This white belt piece is kind of almost glossy. Looks like it could almost be sort of a leather, and then this belt definitely has that grainy leather texture. I really like all of those. I like the detail of the pocket flaps on the back here. The belt buckle looks fantastic. Paint apps on mine all look good. And look, you've even got that sort of grainy texture on his gloves. Really, really nice detail there to give it that leather look. Kind of wish his shoes had it as well, although these would be more of a patent, so that's okay. I'm good with that. Stirrups look great. They're sculpted. They've done what I would say is a fine job of painting the stripe. You can see it's just a little offset here, but my gosh, I mean, what are you going to do? Although this side is almost perfect all the way down, so good job on that. I'm going to move that over just a bit so it lines up. Get those straightened out. I mean, look, I am being nitpicky about some things, but he's great. He is. That vac metal faceplate is very striking. It's going to stand out on the shelf. I wouldn't be opposed to them releasing a slightly different version of this in the regular line with a non-vac metal faceplate and maybe some different paint applications, maybe the sleeves that the Mickey Mouse had. I mean, they could do some other things with this. Throw a cape on him, maybe. Yeah, he's great. Oh, and plastic. Plastic feels good. It's something that I'd kind of gotten out of the habit of even talking about. Of thinking not talking about, because I think I try to mention the quality of the plastic with every classified review I do. But I'd gotten out of the habit of being overly conscious of it because for a while now, the plastic has been solid. But then that Cobra Trooper from this wave is just feels like old junky weak plastic. Oh, look, his hips are lined up nicely. I will buy this exact figure. I'd buy it in red. I'd buy it in black. I would buy many different repaints and minor retoolings of this Cobra Commander if Hasbro wants to go that way. I'm down. Let's do Python Patrol. I'm in. I'm good for that. Look at that. I can't stand. But what do you do? What do you do instead of having that cut joint right there? I mean, you could eliminate the cut joint, but then if this is going to be molded this way anyway, he's still going to have that turned in toe. So I don't know what the answer is on that. This little silver gadget doodad over here. Oh, he is great. He's great. Like I said, nitpicks aside, this figure is awesome and satisfying. And yes, it would have been great to get him much earlier in the line, but at the same time, this is not what the line was originally intended to be. It just isn't. And we've got him now, and we can be happy about that. Now, let's see how this back piece works, because I was a little dubious on this. First of all, his Venom Blaster, I believe, too small. It's cool. I love that it's got a little bit of paint on it there, but it's too small. And then the backpack, I don't think this is going to look good. I just don't. Yeah, why couldn't they contour this to his back? Why has it got to look all awkward like this? I don't need it to be part of the figure sculpt necessarily, but why in the world do you just make it this flat piece? This is clearly for Cobra Commander, right? That's it. This is the only person that's going to be using this. Contour it to his back. This is a mind-bogglingly poor design decision. And to be honest, from a line that has made a lot of poor decisions about backpacks and how they interact with the figure. So the Venom Blaster does fit in there very nicely. Yeah, I just don't love this. I love the paint on it. I love the Cobra emblem on it. That's fantastic. Whatever all these silver, gimmicks are, it's neat. It's great. But the execution of this piece is just subpar. He also comes with a great little dagger. Love this. Pretty solid. Silver paint. Looks great. Looks fantastic. Let's slide that thing into the sheath. And fits perfectly. Looks exactly like Cobra Commander's little thigh dagger should look. Very happy with that. He's got a number of interchangeable hands. He has got a pointing hand, which is great. And maybe I'll stick it on the Commando Snake Eyes and see if it doesn't look too weird. I mean, this is clearly like a different kind of glove, but we need a pointing hand for Snake Eyes. Got fists, not so much for punching, but for being frustrated, I think, or for making bold, loud proclamations. And then a grasping hand, which is nice. I'm not sure what I'm going to display him with yet. And then, of course, he also comes with a battle stand. While I do not like using stands, I'm a big fan of how Hasbro has executed these. First, just make them all black. They don't need to be in any color other than black, but I like the simple Cobra emblem or G.I. Joe logo that they're using and that they're standardized. I think these are about as good a battle stand as you could want if you're going to use them. So, I'll just leave him on there because I've still got to do my thumbnail. So there he is, retro Cardback Cobra Commander. Not perfect, but my gosh, pretty fantastic nonetheless. I can't wait to get him on the shelf in front of the Cobra troops. I don't know that I'm going to retire the older Cobra Commanders that I have because I really do enjoy. I like those figures. I think the uniforms they made for those look like exactly what Cobra Commander would design for himself. But you gotta have this one. I mean, this is Cobra Commander. Just fantastic. Well, let's give him... Hang on. I've got a Megatron from something. I don't remember what it came with. Maybe one of the RED figures, one of the RED Transformers figures, that I'm probably going to give this one. Currently, the Regal Cobra Commander is holding it, but this one would be more appropriate. But there he is. All right, well, now I've got to... There we go. Everything swaps out nicely. And that is the Cobra Commander we all needed. Thrilled to have him. Just looks great. Is going to look great on the shelf. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things. And until next time, buy what you like. Cobra!
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.